The University of Cape Town on Friday installed Dr. Precious Moloi-Motsepe as its sixth and second black woman. Dr. Precious Moloi-Motsepe joins me now to talk about the new role at the university as the Chancellor. Dr. Moloi-Motsepe, thank you very much for your time. I want to kick off this conversation with the words of your predecessor, Ms. Graça Machel, and she had these words to say, I quote, "I'm so pleased to see that you have selected a successor to this important office who, like me, is committed to changing the face of leadership across Africa, especially to upholding the rights of people who have been marginalized because of gender and economic status." How important are those words to you, and where do you start?
Good morning, Golly, and very good morning to your listeners. Indeed, we have had incredible leadership at UCT, and our former First Lady and former Chancellor, Mrs. Graça Machel, was one of those outstanding leaders. I believe that UCT, as one of the best universities in the world and the best on the African continent, has a very important role to play to ensure that we are more inclusive in our quest to become a center of excellence. We produce more graduates that are compassionate and understand that their role as leaders in society is to ensure that we take UCT, its excellence and its knowledge and its global standing. We ensure that we embrace particularly women and our youth in society and really give them that platform to lead.
Yeah, according to the UCT Vice Chancellor, that's the principal there, Professor Mamokgethi Phakeng, you've already started contributing towards this university, and that talks to just how eager you are in getting your hands dirty. According to her, you have already played a pivotal role in extending funding through the Motsepe Foundation, paying for students who could not graduate because of outstanding fees. Why is this so important for you?
I think you would understand that people of my generation, particularly those who grew up in townships and in rural communities, have become successful because of the generosity, initially to start with, of their own families, their parents, but very importantly of the community around them. And I'm no exception. I'm successful and have managed to be where I am because of my community, my parents, and teachers, incredible teachers. So when I finished my medical studies at Wits University, my husband and I started the foundation to ensure that we can pay it forward, that we can also support students from underprivileged background to study at the best universities in South Africa, all 27 universities in South Africa. So to that effect, we've been supporting students with bursaries and building infrastructures in our schools to ensure that we're ready for this fourth industrial revolution, technologies that we talk about.
Yeah.
At UCT per se, as I have been appointed as its chancellor, last year when COVID hit and students could not graduate, particularly those that still owed the university, we cancelled my graduation ceremony, and I then pledged at that time to pay fees for those students to complete their studies and to receive their graduation certificates. Education is something that is very, very close to my heart, and I believe truly that with an educated youth population in the right skills, particularly those that include the STEM and sciences and humanities, Africa has an opportunity to really lead the world. As we always say, this is Africa's century.
Yeah. One of your core duties, Dr. Moloi-Motsepe, is going to be that of advancing UCT's reputation, not just in South Africa or the continent, but to the world. Are there issues that are of immediate concern to you when it comes to the reputation of that institution?
I can confidently say, thus far, we've had fantastic leadership with our Vice Chancellor, Professor Mamokgethi, our Chairman of Council. We've got a very good executive team. We have alumni all over the world that we communicate with constantly, alerting them of any issues that may arise at the university. At this stage, I believe that all our alumni globally have become our ambassadors and are portraying the university and South Africa in a positive light. We know that our biggest current challenge, I believe, as society is that of inclusion, where students from poor communities still remain left out of great universities such as UCT. We know that inequality has worsened because of the COVID pandemic. We've had many people losing jobs. So as we look towards 2022, we expect that many more students will not have the means to enter these excellent institutions of learning, and that becomes a problem. And I'm very excited to say that UCT has played a very, very important role in partnership with its alumni, with business in South Africa and globally, with government, with philanthropists and foundations, and has contributed close to 1.4 billion rands to ensure that students who cannot access education, higher centers of learning, are able to come to UCT. So I'm confident that with the three women leading this university, that is the Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor, and the Chairman of Council, we are seeing a new era of leadership from women who have themselves accomplished and can show the world and Africa how embracing diversity and being inclusive can really work in our favor. My passion right now is to also ensure that we can show young people what they can be. Yeah. And that is why at my installation, I insisted that the young SRC president read my citation to make him aware that he is not waiting to become a leader. He is leading right now and is part of the leadership at UCT.
What a fantastic feat indeed. Dr. Moloi-Motsepe, let me conclude this conversation. UCT, I think it was in September of this year, was once again ranked top by an international body. Now, institutions like that, they easily become inaccessible, particularly when you talk about inequality, which you've just spoken about in your last response. Inclusion and inequality, those are probably matters that you are going to be bogged down by up until your term ends. What needs to be done to quicken access, particularly for students who do not have the means to access such an institution?
Well, yes, that is a very critical question. At the moment, we're still ensuring that students have access to bursaries from foundations. Businesses are being asked to also contribute. Government is doing its part in contributing towards access for students. But I think we also have to play a very important role in ensuring that we contribute towards economic inclusion so that people become self-reliant. And one of my passion areas is in ensuring that we can focus on the social economy. As I said at my installation, social entrepreneurship has a role to play on the continent because it focuses on the social side of challenges that face Africa, in the area of the sustainable development goals, but it also utilizes business principles to make sure that these small businesses remain sustainable. I work with social entrepreneurs in South Africa and on the continent, and we have a partnership with the World Economic Forum on social entrepreneurship. And this is an area that is really growing in strength. And for me, it is possible for us to enlarge the economic inclusion through the social economy.
Yeah.
So I'm working very hard with the university as well as our global partners to ensure that we can fast track that economic inclusion and therefore attack and be able to address some of the sustainable development goals, especially that of inclusion, reducing inequality and poverty amongst our people.
That's the newly installed Chancellor of the University of Cape Town, Dr. Precious Moloi-Motsepe. Thank you very much for your time. What a pleasure talking to you.